Let's get on. Hi everyone, welcome to this webinar. Today we'll talk about piracy and how to defeat it using a very advanced solution, which is dynamic watermarking. To discuss this, I have with me two experts. First, Mathieu Harel, Marketing Director of Security Products from Viaccess-Orca. Hi Mathieu.
Hello, I hope everybody's fine today.
And Gaëtan Le Guelhuit, Lab Manager from Bcom.
Hi, welcome.
So can you please, guys, describe your company to begin with?
So let me start. Yes, Viaccess-Orca is a French company started 20 years ago, having Orange Group as a shareholder, developing and implementing a full panel of advanced TV solutions, including the security part, and taking advantage of broad TV knowledge, experience, and a high level of expertise. Our customers are all over the world, and our technology integrated in many ecosystems.
How about
Okay,
Bcom?
so let me introduce Bcom. We are a private innovation center. We started 8 years ago in Rennes, France. And up to date, we are about 300 researchers and engineers. And we work on multimedia, networks, and e-health problems. At the end, we aim at transferring fundamental research to industrial technologies. And personally, I run the Trust and Security Lab. And our main topic is the fight against digital fraud. And among other things, we study new authentication mechanism, network security, and that's why we are here, content leak and piracy prevention technologies.
Okay. As for me, I am Quentin Stalivieri, a market analyst at Dataxis. We are a leading market intelligence company focusing on TV, media, OTT, and telecom markets. We also organize digital events such as this one today. If you have questions during the presentation, there is a Q&A button on Zoom, which I invite you to use, that you can ask questions, which we will answer at the end of the presentation. So we'll start today by discussing what exactly is at stake, why is it so important to protect your live content against piracy, and then we'll study the technical response to this threat. And finally, how this technical response, which is watermarking, can be implemented for operators and content owners. So, nobody will be surprised here if I tell you that the pay TV market is challenged. Indeed, one of the most discussed topics related to the TV industry today is the alleged competition between SVOD and pay TV. Here in Europe, this opposition has not translated into facts as much as it did in the US. Indeed, the SVOD growth hasn't come at the expense of pay TV yet, and we can even notice a minor growth in pay TV subscriptions, both in Western and in Eastern Europe. However, it is still far away from the increase observed in SVOD, and moreover, it's not reflected in revenues, which have been only slightly increasing. The growth potential of pay TV is becoming more and more limited, especially because the most advanced markets have almost reached saturation. Today, the growth comes mostly from low ARPU markets, which partially explains the discrepancy between subscribers growth and revenues growth. SBOD platform have been the big winners of the COVID crisis. And if we saw that until now, SVOD's growing penetration hasn't come at the expense of pay TV, this might change as customers will have to arbitrate more and more between different pay services. And that's why premium content distributors will have to enhance their value proposition to customers on the one hand, but also on the other hand, they will need to protect their content to avoid leaks and push the customers to legal subscriptions. The curves that we see here would be very different without piracy, especially since piracy targets premium content in priority, which brings in the most revenues. And to make things worse, this premium content comes at a high price. So here we took the example of sports, which is relevant as a content which is very premium and therefore a target for piracy. You surely know that over the last decade, sports rights have enjoyed a substantial growth. On this graph here, you can see the evolution over 3 cycles of the domestic rights for the top 5 European soccer leagues. They are all the most valuable property in their respective countries. But you can see that 2 leagues have already experienced a decrease in the rights value in the last tender. The Premier League 2 years ago and the Bundesliga this year. It remains early to tell if the decrease reflects the long expected drop in sports media rights value, but piracy, without any doubt, is an important factor leading to this ceiling effect. Indeed, rights are usually sold on an exclusive basis. But what does it mean, exclusive, when all the content is usually available everywhere on the internet? And if we've seen that media rights have significantly increased over the last 15 years, the figures become even more gigantic when we put them into perspective. Let's take the example of Spain. You can see here for every year on the left the value of media rights to La Liga and to the UEFA Champions League, and on the right you have the total pay TV revenues per year in Spain. You can easily realize that the investment needed to secure the rights to La Liga represents around half of the total value of pay TV revenues, and if you had the Champions League, it accounts for around 2/3. Now, we need to put these impressive numbers into perspective since pay TV operators are often convergent, which means premium content, including sports, does not only attract TV subscribers, but convergent subscribers, because pay TV is just not enough to make this content profitable anymore. So when we see how significant the investments in football rights are, we can understand how damaging pirate alternatives can be for broadcasters. Not only do they directly lose subscription money, which goes into the pirate's pocket, but piracy also decreases the value of the rights. So they're damaging for right holders, but for all other members of the sports value chains, from clubs to pay TV operators, even players. Now, I'm going to turn to you, Mathieu, to explain us how all this damage can be made. Could you please explain this to us, to the audience?
Yes, absolutely. So it's not a surprise, but piracy has always been an issue in the pay TV market. It can take various shapes, from the simple ones like password sharing to the most complex ones, like attacking a smart card or the chipset of a STB. But we are now living in a new piracy era because attacks are more and more simple. It's now as easy as recording the screen of the device playing the content or using a HDMI splitter bought 30 euros on Amazon. The pirates are also benefiting from the cheap storage and CDN prices. They can use it to redistribute their content, either by using existing social network platforms like YouTube or Twitch, or by creating their own distribution channel and make money out of it. So in order to protect their revenues, operators need a watermarking solution. Of course, watermarking is not new, but it is very relevant in this day and age.
Mhm. It's hard to believe that it's that easy as setting up a Twitch account. You send me a video to explain it further. Can you tell me more?
Sure. You need to start the video, I think, Quentin.
Yes.
Thanks. Thanks. Yeah, it's that easy to redistribute the content. For this video, I just use my computer and an internet connection. Using a software really appreciated by game streamers called OBS Studio, I can easily screen record the content of my laptop and stream it to my Twitch account. And it takes less than a minute to set up. Of course, it's an amateur way to redistribute the content, but it can already do damages to revenues. People are sharing the links on Facebook or forums, and 100 to 1,000 of people can easily watch a soccer game, for instance, without paying any kind of subscription. Of course, professional pirates are using HDMI splitter to capture the content and remove the HTTP protection. in order to redistribute it on their illegal IPTV network. But yes, it's that easy, unfortunately.
Wow, so it's almost an amateur like me could do it. So I guess, yeah, it makes sense that a response, for example, watermarking is needed, but it must come with challenges on your side.
Yes, of course. Watermarking services and especially live services comes with a series of challenges. First of all, the solution must not introduce any latency on live when marking the content. Many operators are focused on reducing the live latency on OTT services. Second, the detection must be automatic. No human intervention must be performed to detect the mark. It will be against the performances of the solution. Imagine that a team in charge of anti-piracy detects thousands of illegal links and has to perform manual operation for each video captured. It would not be very efficient. And finally, the solution must be robust to attacks and especially collusion. It's now really easy for pirates to mix 4 streams in order to disrupt the watermark. For pirates, it's also really easy to perform geometric modification of the content. They can add black banners on top and at the bottom of the video to remove the channel logo. They can crop the content, rescale it, etc.
So this response that you're presenting is the dynamic watermarking. So Gaëtan, you are the technical expert here. Maybe you can first tell us how you arrived here. How and why do Viaccess-Orca and Become have a partnership?
Yes, at Become, every project is a collaboration. And at the end, we transfer the technology we built for deployment and commercial exploitation. So I'm very pleased to talk about it because this collaboration with Viaccess-Orca is a perfect illustration of the way we work. We started working with VO 2 years ago. They came to us with the idea of designing a new forensic video watermarking product dedicated to live content. And they had 3 wishes. The first one was, of course, watermarking transparency, but at the same time, high robustness, especially against collusion, compression, and camcording. The second wish was to use client-side watermarking. So embedding will be done on video terminal like set-top boxes, phones, connected TV, and so on, in real time with often limited computing power and memory. It was a great challenge. And third wish, if an illegal transmission of a live content occurs, and it will, action must be taken during the event and not after, of course. So the extraction, the reading of an ID from a suspicious video must be done in less than 15 minutes to be efficient. And like the genius in the lamp, we did our best to grant their wishes.
Okay, so now let's dive into the wishes, into the core subject, and can you tell us how the magic is done?
Yes. The main difficulty with watermarking is how to deal with metadata, because often to be efficient, watermarking algorithms generate and use metadata. So it can be at embedding when the watermark is added to the video. So in this figure, it is called pre-processing, but you can also see pre-watermarking. And indeed, it uses computing resources. Embedding metadata are then transmitted along with the content to the client's terminal. And the final embedding stage on the right in the figure here is done inside the video terminal before or after video decoding. But some metadata may also be needed at retrieving when we read a watermark from a video. So in this case, those metadata must also be generated during pre-processing, stored in another platform or in the cloud, and of course be available when needed at ID retrieving.
So you have an approach without metadata, right?
Yes, with Viaccess-Orca, we decided to start from a blank page. Let's do without metadata at all. indeed, the integration is hugely simplified because no more data storing platform, no need for an additional stream between the streaming platform and the client's terminal. And finally, this is a seamless watermarking integration, and that's good for us. It is perfect for live content. But of course, there is a drawback. When we try to read an ID from a video, we are completely blind. To extract identifiers from a pirate video, we cannot rely on any metadata or any information from the original content, such as time or spatial synchronization. So it is more challenging than watermarking with metadata.
Yeah, as Gaëtan mentioned, from the very first stages of this project, we took into account the operability of the solution. It's no longer good enough to have a good technology if it's really hard to implement on the field. And we know that integrating a server-side, client-side and server-side solution in existing video delivery infrastructure can be a pain for operators. That's why our solution is client-side and requires no backend integration to insert the watermark.
Okay, so let's see the result in the video. To offer a fair comparison between watermarking vendors, movie studios ask an independent company named Cartesian to create a common benchmark. So they measure the robustness thanks to a set of attacks they designed. So at the beginning of this year, we passed the test. And of course, the goal of the game is to find out the right ID from each attack movie file. So let's first see the watermark movie without any attack. So it may look laggy because of the conference system, but trust me, the quality is great. Now let's see two examples of attacks we faced. So the first one is a very, very strong H.264 compression. And it looks like a kind of porridge of pixels. In this case, our watermarking technology retrieves the right ID after only 5 minutes of such video. And as said before, we do not have metadata, so it is a blind retrieving, and we can do it without any human intervention. It is completely automatic. Second sample, it illustrates a shaky camcording. So the watermark video is played on a computer screen and freehand recorded using a smartphone. And in this case, we only need 1 minute to find out the good ID without any metadata, without any human intervention. So for the Cartesian test, we succeed in every attack from the benchmark and all without any manual tuning.
So this is really impressive, but I have to say, pirates nowadays, they have ways of deleting watermarking or at least making it unrecognizable. Mathieu, for example, talked about collusion. So can you tell us how you counter that?
You're right, Quentin. Those attacks are really impressive, of course, but it doesn't represent ground truth. We believe that photo thread on watermarking is collusion. So this is a kind of collaborative piracy where several subscribers, several pirates, pool and mix their video terminal's output to forge a new one. So the mixes process is done using, for example, means of pixels, random frame selection, etc. It is limitless. And the problem is that it is very destructive because with classical ID encoding algorithm, it is often impossible to retrieve any of the participating IDs. So the challenge for us was to find all the IDs from a collusion attack. In this slide, you have the photo of our bench, and we try to mimic a real-world collusion. So we plug together several set-top boxes, 4 here. We name it the collusion center. So all the 4 set-top boxes outputs are mixed together, and one can choose which one are activated using flipper button in front of the box. So from the beginning, our technology has been designed to be robust to collision. It was one of the three wishes of Viaccess-Orca. So we are now able to handle any combination from our collision center, but we are not only limited to 4 boxes.
If collusion is the trendy method of piracy now, there will be other methods later. So your algorithm must keep up with it, right?
Yes. We cannot rely on a single watermarking algorithm to be secure over time. So our platform was designed to work with several watermarking algorithms. And for example, for the same event, several algorithms can be activated or stopped. And we plan to release new ones, new algorithms to be always a step ahead piracy. Thanks to real-time monitoring from Viaccess-Orca, we are also able to activate and fine-tune each algorithm based on the attack we observe in real time. So we can see the effect we get. This creates a kind of iterative loop between embedding parameters and monitoring. And at the end, we converge to the pirates. And this is what we call dynamic watermarking.
Yeah, at Vio, we are security experts, and we know that fighting piracy is an endless game. You always need to be prepared and react to the pirate moves. We have 20 years of experience in protecting content. We created smart cards for our conditional access system. We created our own DRM for OTT. And we know that eventually all solutions are attacked and can sometimes be bypassed, unfortunately. So a dynamic and renewable watermarking solution was really key for Vio and Become. As Gaetan explained, we wanted the ability to quickly deploy countermeasures or new algorithms if necessary.
That's a good transition to our third part, which is how this technology that we saw can protect your content and how can it be implemented. So Mathieu, can you tell us how the watermarking is integrated into a wider anti-piracy solution?
Yes, of course. The watermarking technology must be integrated into a wide anti-piracy solution. And for us, a foolproof anti-piracy solution must be based on 3 principles. First of all, marking the content. The solution must enable the creation of watermarking campaigns with several profiles and mark the content received by all devices of the network. Second, monitoring the web. The solution must be able to crawl the web to collect suspicious videos or to look into illegal IPTV networks. And finally, identifying the devices redistributing the content in order to let the operator take the proper actions.
So can you describe the workflow, how it works into the day-to-day life of an operator?
Yes, absolutely. So as we stated earlier, we always had the operability of the service in mind. So this is a really high-level workflow, but let's take a moment to review a real customer case. In this case, our customer is eager to fight piracy on a major soccer game. So what happens is that 2 weeks prior to the event, our team monitor the webs and the illegal IPTV services that we know of to identify the potential sources of the leaks. 3 days before the event, the customer declares its watermarking campaigns on our anti-piracy center. As soon as the event starts, content is marked on the devices. Illegal links are captured by web crawlers or in this case, our Eye on Piracy solution, and they are captured and analyzed. After only 15 minutes, IDs of the devices leaking the content are found. The operator can take the proper actions. Of course, a couple of days after the event, our team presents a detailed report to the customer.
Okay, well, 15 minutes only.
Yeah, it takes 15 days to prepare and 15 minutes to identify the leaks.
Oh, Okay, we are nearing the end of the presentation. Can you please, Mathieu, summarize what you described about your solution quickly to conclude?
Sure. So Vio's watermarking solution is based on 4 pillars. It's invisible to the human eye. It allows the identification of unique devices. It resists to a large list of attacks and has been ranked by Cartesian, as Gaetan explained. And it resists to a large, and it's renewable, sorry. It means that Vio can deploy new algorithm. Vio offer flexibility in service management. The solution can either be fully managed by us or be deployed on premises for operators with their own anti-piracy teams. It holds absolutely no backend cost as the agent is client-side, and our watermarking agent is already integrated in our OTT and web player, reaching multi-devices, including smart TVs and Android set-top boxes. And of course, in order to be fully efficient, it is integrated with web crawlers or our own Ion Piracy solution, meaning that an operator just have to set up campaigns targeting events and will take care of the rest. Once a stream is captured, no manual operation are required to identify the mark. And of course, the detection time is really fast for all content. And its renewability makes it future-proof and will always be able to defeat pirates.
So can you tell me more about this anti-piracy center?
Sure. Yeah, this is a screenshot, sorry, of our anti-piracy center portal. We use this pre-sales account to demonstrate the end-to-end service. It's a real demo. We have a very neat demo using our secure player for OTT, or even the one for web browser. So should you be interested in such live demo, please feel free to contact us and we'll set up a call with you.
Okay, so to conclude, let's ask, what's next? What are the plans for the future?
So watermarking security is a never-ending cat and mouse game. So at Become and with Viaccess-Orca, we will continue working on adding new watermarking algorithms to the platform to be always a step ahead before the pirates.
And yeah, from on Vio side, we are always extending the list of supported devices. For instance, we've recently added the support of Linux set-top boxes. And as we said, yeah, threats are evolving, so we are closely monitoring what is happening on the field. With our piracy intelligence service, we know how pirates redistribute the content in their own illegal IPTV networks. We know that our solution works and is able to track users leaking the content, but pirates always come up with new ways to hack the weak links, and so we need to monitor this in order to quickly react. And finally, our watermarking algorithm and the way we secure them are applicable to a lot of use cases. So stay tuned because we have some exciting news to share in the coming months.
Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen. I see a few questions are starting to appear in the Q&A. I'm gonna let a bit of time to the audience to write some more. I have some questions of my own for you. For example, which video formats, which codecs do you currently support on this solution?
Yeah, I think it's for me. So we have the chance to be on the terminal side, and with the watermarking embedding is done after video decoding. So potentially we can handle any video format because we are codec agnostic. So today we support HDR and HDR video content.
Okay, and just to be sure, your solution does not degrade the video?
Of course not. So to be sure of that, in intern at Become, we use a lot of subjective tests. So with real people, we ask them to see the original videos and the watermarked ones, and we check if they are able to see which is the watermark and which is the original one. And of course, this is done by us, but also we had a good news this week because we passed with a great success some good test of a major Hollywood studio. So I think we are quite good for watermark transparency.
Well, so my last question would be, you mentioned your solution is fully client side. Why is it client side and not, for example, in A/B mode?
Yeah, so we considered first of all there are pros and cons for both solutions. I mean, A/B mode was considered at the very first stages when we started working on our watermarking solution. But we think that client side offer more security and a better resistance to collusion. And as Gaetan explained, really we had collusion in mind and the resistance to collusion when we started working with Become. We fear that it's the next great threat for watermarking systems. And A/B mode does not resist so well when with collusion. But with our solution, a unique mark is generated per device.
Okay.
We have a question that I can answer. The question is, how complex is the integration of watermarking agent in terminals? Does it require dedicated hardware? No. So the integration is pretty straightforward on devices. It does not require any dedicated hardware. It's a purely software solution. Of course, the solution is pre-integrated within our own products. For instance, our secure player on Android, iOS, Android TV devices, or our player on web browsers. And as I said, we also support Linux set-top boxes.
Okay.
Yes, I can. We also have a question related to the chipset of set-top boxes. Yes, for now we are supporting not all the chipsets, the major ones like Broadcom or HiSilicon. Let's say that we are in the work of supporting the more exotic chipsets. And we also have a question, can your dynamic watermarking be implemented in a workflow if VO is not providing the anti-piracy services? Absolutely. Of course, the watermarking solution works with any anti-piracy solution, whether VO is providing it or a third party. The solution can be integrated in third-party web crawlers and of course will work. I think that's it.
Okay. I think that'd be all. You will find us on LinkedIn, and you can also follow our respective companies, Become, Dataxis, and VO on the social networks. Don't hesitate. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for being here, dear audience. Thank you, Mathieu. Thank you, Gaëtan.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for attending.
And well, have a nice day. Stay healthy.
Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.